In this video, we will be talking about the PNF stretching techniques. I will start by explaining the hold and relax technique. As you can see in the beginning of this video, I discussed and walked through what the patient will be doing. I of course spent more time before the video explaining into further detail, so I knew that he completely understood. In this, we are doing the hold and relax PNF stretching technique, where I will move the patient into the farthest point of range of motion he has without any pain. I then have him hold it there. I held it there for about 8 seconds, but you can usually do about 6 to 10 seconds. I then have him contract his muscle, which I had hold for 8 seconds. And again, this is when you can do this 6 to 10 seconds. I then asked him to relax, and for relaxation, it's about 2 to 3 seconds, but I move him through the range of motion, and then I added about 2 more seconds because, as you can see, he's not very flexible. I then had him contract his muscle again, holding again for 8 seconds. And at this time, I also reminded him he is not to be kicking or moving his foot at all. He is simply just contracting his muscles. I did this about 3 times before we were done. Next, I will go into the contract and relax technique. As you can see in the beginning of this video, I had again walked through and explained what we would be doing and what the patient needed to be doing. This is for the contract and relax PNF stretching technique. I will again move the patient through his max range of motion, and then I will hold it there for about 8 seconds. I will then ask the patient to contract his muscle, and while we are contracting the muscle, we are working as an isotonic contraction. This would be that he is moving. He is trying to kick his foot back down to a neutral position that we had started him in. I have him hold this position for about 8 seconds. I then ask him to relax, where I move him to his farthest point of range of motion, which is slightly increased. I then have him hold that for about 2 seconds, where we are just simply stretching. Again, I ask him to contract, which is another 8 seconds, and then relax and move him through the range of motion fully. I do this about 3 times before we are finally done. I am now going to talk about the slow reversal, hold, relax technique. For this technique, I had explained to the patient before the video had started what he was doing, so I knew that he fully understood it. In this technique, you have the patient raise their leg up to their fullest range of motion. I then apply only resistance while the patient contracts the muscle and attempts to push his leg down. I then asked him to please raise his leg up farther to his farthest range of motion point. And again, I had wrapped my hand around his ankle and asked him to contract, pushing down into the table. I again asked him to do the same thing over. We did the same motions 3 times before finally finishing. Each time I had the contraction hold about 6 to 8 seconds, and I had him relax for 3.